On the front wheels?
I do all wheels.
Yep.
There's loops around them.
Well, that's pretty easy.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah? Easy peasy.
I haven't had a single one fall off yet.
Have you had any accidents at all?
We don't talk about accidents.
I was wondering if you could answer that question.
My job is I run a route from Denver to Arizona transporting cars for various clients.
And how long have you been doing that?
About a year and a half.
So we're in a Ford F450.
Yep, 2011.
King Ranch. Why did you get the King Ranch for this?
Well, I figured if I was going to be living out of it, then I might as well be comfortable, and the extra couple of $1,000 since I bought it slightly used didn't make that much of a difference, and I figure resale might be even that much better as well.
So you got a car transporter in the back. How many cars can you take at one time?
Generally four. If I find some stuff that's real small, I can fit on 5, but more often than not, it's 4. Right around 36,000 pounds with the truck, trailer, fully loaded with cars.
That's a lot of weight.
Pretty good, but the truck does a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, tell me about that. How has this Ford F450 been as a work vehicle?
Overall, I'd give it a B.
Okay.
I've currently got 196,000 miles on it, so that's quite a few miles to put on with carrying heavy weight behind it. But I have had problems with the differential in it.
So what's happened?
It's been 3 times now that I've basically grinded the differential up into pulp.
State Highway 52.
Oh, excuse my navigation.
It's okay. So this is the 4th differential.
This is number 4, and I'm not sure that it'll make it that much longer.
So why does it keep going through eating through differentials? What is it about? Is it about the way you're hauling, or is it about the way the truck's designed?
Ford tells me that it's heating up.
Yeah.
And basically searing itself in there.
Yeah.
Proceed on the current road.
Basically, this last time since it was finally out of warranty this time, the last time they replaced it, they put a bigger diff cover on it and a different spider gear trying to solve the problem. And so far it's been good. I get a little whining out of it now and then, so I don't know if it's starting to act up again. It's a 50-gallon tank on the bottom.
Yep.
And then on the top 8 inches is toolbox, so I can fill it full of straps or jacks or whatever else I need.
So how many gallons? What, you have a 36 at least in the truck, right?
I think the truck's about a 36,
Yep.
and this is 50, so I've got about 90 gallons. It'll take me roughly 500 to 600 miles.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And how often do you change tires?
A lot.
A lot.
Another problem that Ford has, and they know that they have it, but they don't have an answer for it, nor will they take responsibility for it, is something called a death wobble.
Yeah.
When you hit a bridge separator, concrete bridge separator, or something kind of like that, it will make your front tires start shimmying to the point that you either have to slow down to about 15 miles an hour or it'll just keep going. So every 6 weeks I put on a brand new set of front tires, which is about I'd say every 20,000 miles, 15 to 20,000 miles, and move them to the back.
Do they get cupped? Is that what happens?
And fresh tires is the only thing that'll stop that from happening.
A lot of tires.
A lot of tires.
And speaking of fuel economy, what are you getting?
This current trip,
Yeah.
for the 1,000 miles, I'm getting 7.5, and that's pretty standard. I average between 7.5 and 8.5.
And what's under the hood?
6.7 liter, 400 horsepower, 800 feet of torque. I'm essentially a trucker.
Yeah.
A glorified trucker.
You are a trucker.
I guess one of the most surprising things was the government enforcement and regulation in what I was trying to do. I knew I'd have to get a CDL
Yep.
and
Commercial driver's license.
a commercial driver's license and get my DOT number and all that. What I wasn't really sure about was things like IFTA, the fuel taxes, keeping track of all my miles. I basically have to pay an accountant to keep track of how much money I owe each state that I've traveled through for the fuel I've purchased and the miles I've driven in that state.
Ouch.
So things like that just kind of add up and irritate you a little bit.
All right, this one smells like it's been hosting an all-night tobacco party.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what this one smells like. This one smells like, let's see. It smells like a taxi cab from Eastern Europe. In other words, it smells like 15 Christmas trees were left in here.
Headlights,
Oh, you got some free stuff in here.
half a bottle of water.
Look at that.
Those are all free. I can
much-
help myself to that.
How much was this car?
$775.
Whoa, not bad. Not bad. Now you guys gotta fix it.
Not me.
Not you. Just transport them, right?
Just the transporter.
So it's not this freewheeling, jump in my truck and.
No, the hours of service they call it for. I have to run a logbook,
Yep.
and I'm allowed to drive 11 hours in a 14-hour period, and then I have to take 10 hours off. Now they've started throwing in more regulations, like before your 8th hour of driving, you have to take a half hour off of driving, and there's something called a reset. When you've driven more than 70 hours in an 8-day period, now you need to basically either have a reset if you want to drive again as soon as possible, which means you've got to spend 34 hours wherever you're at, and two of those time periods have to be between 1 and 5 a.m. So if you get in somewhere at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
you've got essentially 2 days until you can actually start driving again. So
Now, in case people aren't familiar, to drive from Denver to Phoenix is about 1,000 miles, give or take.
it's about 900 miles.
Yeah, so you can't do it in 12 hours. It takes longer than that.
Right, it's 2 days up and generally 2 days back.
And do you sleep in the truck? Is this something that you can work, or do you have to go like to a hotel?
I don't sleep in the truck.
Truck's too small.
One is by choice,
Yeah.
and you're also not allowed to. DOT has a problem with you sleeping in your car as well.
Okay. You sleep in the car back there.
So yeah, sleep in the cars behind me. No, I've got a really good friend here in Colorado that
That's your bed down for when you're up here.
lets me, gives me a good night's stay. There is still the freedom.
Yeah.
Like I said, I worked in hospitality before, and
You
so
can
I,
make your own hours, basically.
you work your own hours, you kind of make your own schedule, and you're working for yourself. So the harder you work or the lazier you are is what you get out of it.
And how about, what do you hate about it?
Let's see. I guess most people would say the driving, but I really don't mind the driving. I guess it would be the regulation and the fact that when you pick up a car, everybody thinks it should be there yesterday.
Oh, sure.
So you get unhappy customers, but I mean, I run it pretty quick. I'll pick up a car today and I'll probably have it in Arizona dropped off tomorrow afternoon, but sometimes that's not quick enough for people. I've hauled some cars for some sports players, some Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
One of them had a Maserati that was pretty low to the ground and had 400 miles on it, so it was basically brand new, and I got that down to Phoenix for him.
That's gotta be kind of scary because now a $200,000 car in the back of your trailer there. And,
Exactly.
It's not enclosed.
It's not enclosed, so you're keep in mind of rock chips and things like that. If you come up on an area that's had a lot of snow on it and it's got gravel and everything else, you need to figure something out so you're not damaging the cars. A lot of Corvettes and things, but I'd say the Maserati's the
Coolest.
the highest end car, yeah.
All right, and let's get back to the truck for a second. If you had to do it all over again, would you go for a Ford? Would you do the same thing? You think this is, for all the Ford guys out there, is the F-Series truck the best for this kind of work?
I would say so. Had I needed to do it again, I probably wouldn't have bought as new of a truck because you're just working it to death anyway. And I was originally going to get still a Ford, but one with a 6.4 liter, the older version.
Sure.
Saved myself $10,000-$12,000, but I couldn't find anything nice that anybody said about that motor for heavy towing, so I had to step up to the plate and get the big one.
And now you're expanding your business and you're going to a full-on semi, right?
Right. I'm going to get a Class 8 semi, which is just your standard dual axle in the back, or tandem axle truck, and an 8-car hauler.
So I think that'll be the next video when you're...
That'll be the grown-up video, yeah.
Yeah, when you're behind the wheel of that bad boy.
Right.